here from Anna's Yarn Box Fiber Arts, and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to have you here. First order of business, a little housekeeping. This right here is a microphone, so hopefully the audio of this video is better than my last. And also hopefully the lighting has improved too, because I'm filming in front of a big window, so we have some beautiful natural light with us today. But I'm so excited you're here. Welcome to the very first episode of my podcast, which I guess doesn't have an official name. So if you have an idea, please comment below. In today's video, I'll be sharing my favorite fiber art supplies, regardless of what craft you do. So if that's crochet, knit, Tunisian crochet, what have you. And also sharing my works in progress and talking a little bit about them. So stick around, grab a snack, and get comfy. So let's talk supplies. The first supply recommendation I have is a really good pair of scissors, because you're going to be cutting ends a lot, especially if you're making something like granny squares where you're changing colors a lot. You're going to be cutting yarn a ton. So I actually recommend embroidery scissors. These ones I got from Walmart. They're like a cute little bird, and they're really sharp. They cut through yarn really well, and I think they're about $5. My next supply is darning needles, and these are just basically needles that have a really large eye, so you can get thick yarn through there. If you're working with thinner yarn, you probably need one like this yellow one, but if you're working with thicker yarn, you're probably going to need bigger ones like this purple one. But you're going to need these to weave in ends, to sew things together. They're just really handy. I have a ton of them, as you can see. Another thing you're going to need, especially for making garments, is a ruler or measuring tape. I have a retractable one here. If you're wondering what a gauge swatch is, it's to gauge how big your work is going to be, and if your gauge is the same as the person who made the pattern, because if your gauge is way too big, like you have way more stitches in your amount of space, then your garment's going to be too big. But if you have too few stitches, your garment's going to be too small. So this is really important to making sure your garments fit. I also love this one because it's a cute little purple elephant. It also has a yarn cutter here, and these little holes here help you determine the size of your knitting needles or crochet hooks in case you don't know what size they are. You kind of just stick them through the appropriate size hole, and you go, oh, this is a 5.5 millimeter or whatever. My underrated supply for any crafter is hand lotion. Your hands will get so dry if you work with them all the time, so I really, really recommend having a tube of some nice hand lotion by your bedside table or in your project bag, so you can always have your hands be soft and lovely, because it makes it much easier to work with yarn if your hands are nice and smooth. My next personal recommendation is stitch markers. These are super important to mark where your stitches need to go. You can mark your increases, your decreases, your beginning of rounds. My personal favorite kind of stitch markers are the interlocking kind. They're kind of basically like a plastic safety pin, and I love to use these to secure my work if I'm not going to be working on it for a while. For example, I slid a interlocking stitch marker on the last stitch of this project, and now if I tug on this yarn, it's not going to unravel, which is really nice. Now I want to talk a little bit about my current works in progress. So my first one, which you actually just saw, is the AdventUrous scarf by Tony Lipsy, or TL Yarn Crafts here on YouTube. I absolutely love her. This is a Tunisian crochet on the bias meaning like diagonally made scarf. And so this is what I have. If you can see, it's kind of gonna become like a really long rectangle with these beautiful stripes. And I actually hand dyed this yarn myself, and this project is really, really special to me because each of the yarns is dyed based on a Taylor Swift album. If you don't know, I am a massive Taylor Swift fan. I actually had a Taylor Swift themed birthday party, not last year, but the year before, because it was my 22nd birthday. So here we have Debut, and then this beautiful yellow is Fearless, and we're going into the purple, which is Speak Now. And let me go grab the other yarns so I can show them to you as well. So I'm going to show you my Taylor Swift inspired yarns I hand dyed myself. And as you can tell, the scarf is currently going in album order. So the next album is Red, which is just a beautiful solid cherry red. Then we have 1989, which is kind of this dusty purple. We have Reputation, which is kind of this smoky black. We have Lover, which I think is my personal favorite. It is this pink and blue gorgeousness. Then we have Folklore, which is a dusty gray, which I feel like on camera looks very similar, maybe not so much, but kind of similar to 1989, but hopefully they look different. Then we have Evermore, which is like a dark orangey brown. I don't know how well this is showing up on camera, but yeah. And lastly, we have Midnights, which is a beautiful midnight blue. And those are my Taylor Swift inspired yarns. I also just realized while filming this that I don't have that many works in progress currently. So I'm actually going to pivot and do a little show and tell with some yarn I have. Another yarn I hand dyed myself. I don't know how well this is going to be conveyed on camera, but it's like this beautiful pastel green with little hints of like pink and blue and little rainbows in it almost. Let's see. I don't know if you can tell, but I don't know what to make with this yarn, so if you have any suggestions, please let me know. Now, this is not yarn I dyed, but this is hand-dyed yarn I got from my local yarn store. It's called Birthday Cake, which my favorite flavor of anything is birthday cake flavored, and it's just this really fun bubblegum pink with these like beautiful pops of color. This is also fingering weight yarn, so if you have any suggestions like the other one, please let me know. Now, this isn't a work in progress because this is a finished piece, but this is my second ever knit project. I primarily crochet, but I'm so excited to share this. It is a little beanie. This is called the Barley beanie from TinCanKnits, and it's made from this beautiful wool from Malabringo Yarns. I believe this color is called Rosalinda. I'm not sure how to say it, but it's just stockinette stitch with a little garter stitch panel and some ribbing. Here, I'll put it on for you. Okay, I know it doesn't really go with what I have on right now, but here's what it looks like on. It's not perfect, but I'm super proud of myself. And I guess the last thing I have to share is an actual work in progress, which is the Lamia wrap from TL Yarn Crafts. It has this beautiful honeycomb stitch pattern, and then it has a Tunisian simple stitch. So it's going to be a triangular wrap. This is made from Loops and Threads cream cotton, which I absolutely love. It's this beautiful soft cotton, has gorgeous drape, which if you ever hear people talk about drape, it just means how well the fabric kind of like flows. And I think that concludes the video. I'm sorry this video got kind of derailed. I realized I didn't have that many works in progress, but I'm so excited to share my yarn with you and just talk about yarn in general. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed any of this in any shape or form, please go ahead and subscribe. And also, please follow me on Instagram. I'll put it right here on the screen. It would mean the absolute world to me. And be sure to be kind to yourself today. Bye!